we can honestly say that this gentleman is a friend of ours, and we've only known him because of Beachbody, and that's the beautiful thing of Team Beachbody is they bring amazing people into your life. And he's just this amazing young man, and I always kind of say when I met him, I felt like I was looking into kind of an old soul with a big sparkly smile. But anyway, let me just give you some highlights about Tommy. I knew a little bit about him, but I didn't know the depth of it until we spoke last night. And again, Tommy, I want to thank you for doing this on short notice, but your story so inspires me. He's a father, he's a husband. I didn't know, but he's been coaching high school football for 16 years. When I met Tommy in an elevator at Summit one year, he was up for a 100-pound weight loss story. He's a Beachbody Challenge winner. $50,000 for sharing his story, for working really hard and making that happen. And this is what's really cool, 21 lifetime diamonds in 3 different business centers. And he's been an elite coach for 3 years in a row. This is really cool, 2012 Leadership Award. This man has heart and passion, humor. What I love about him is he's created the 5-step invite process, and he shares it with the whole, not just organization, but the whole Team Beachbody organization as a whole. He's traveled the world with Beachbody. He's gone to France, rode his bike through France, drinking wine, eating, Tahiti. He's gone to every Success Club trip, like Blake said, Success Club for 48 straight months. The list goes on, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm telling you that to impress you, and also to impress upon you that anything is possible, because when you hear Tommy's story and you hear his heart, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about, because he's so much more than just all these accolades. He's a walking, living, breathing, a lot of heart, a lot of love, hard work, and he's done a lot of hard work, and he continues to do a lot of hard work, and that's, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like the rest of us. So with that, Tony, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to let you share your story and give us some training that I know so many people here are hungry to hear. And again, thank you for taking time. Oh, and here's Tommy's rock band. This is when you get to go to leadership, you get to see Tommy and his rock band. With that, Tommy Mygrant, thank you so much for jumping on with our call tonight and sharing with the team.
Yeah, well, what an absolute honor for me. I mean, I remember when I first started in the network back in 2008, was when I first met Blake and Angie. Like she said, it was at my first summit back in 2009. I think at that time it was in February. And, and I want you guys to understand something, how blessed all of you guys are to have people like Blake and Angie and the other leaders that are part of this organization, that have been around for the course of time and that have stayed course and that are continuing to work to improve things and simplify things for all of us. All of you, I know this about Blake and Angie, that their heart is with Beachbody, and they have nothing but the best desire for all of you guys to find whatever success in life that you want, and have Beachbody be whatever part of that you guys want. And that's why they work so hard. I know that Blake has worked very hard over the course of his 7 or 8 years as a Beachbody coach, as one of the founders. And and I'm thankful for them, because without them having the courage back in the day to get started with Beachbody when nothing was guaranteed, when nothing was planned, and to go through all of the rocky trials and tribulations and testing of this and testing of that and trying to figure things out. They laid a lot of groundwork. And so if you're a new coach that's coming in right now, I'm really excited for you, because there's a lot of people like Blake and Angie who have went through those trials and tribulations in order to make it better for the next generations of coaches that came after them. And I was one of those coaches. Just a little bit about me. Like Angie said, man, I'm a Beachbody guy at heart, just through and through. Just a little about me. We could sit here and talk about all these accolades and all these trips and being in the top 10 a couple of times and winning the leadership award and all these things that have happened in my life that have been incredible. But I want you to just kind of understand who I am, because at the core of who any of us are, the beautiful thing about Beachbody is we're all just real people from real places trying to do very real things, and we're all trying to do those at whatever level we choose to do them. Because before Beachbody, I live in a small town of about 8,000 people. I'm a high school football coach. That's who I really am. A town of 8,000 people. I've always said this. I'm a small town guy with a big city. I'm a big city mind with a small town heart. I come from a small town, so I understand, things like loyalty. I understand things like commitment, because that's just how I grew up in our sports programs in our local community. And I still reside here in this local community with my beautiful wife and our 9-month-old little girl. And I'm just so grateful for everything that Beachbody's offered us. I grew up in a very poor family. In fact, my parents were split up. My father was an alcoholic. My stepfather physically and sexually and emotionally abused our family. And at age 11, I ended up living homeless out of a car for 3 months with my mother. And after 3 months, when she realized she couldn't take care of me the way she wanted to, she sent me to live with my grandparents. And my grandparents took me in. And I grew up an angry, bitter, resentful kid after that time. In fact, a kid that was in a lot of trouble. I was in and out of trouble. I was beating kids up. I was stealing. And that's when I developed my eating habits. And I would eat. I was in so much emotional pain that I would eat and I would eat and I would eat. And I ate out of anger and I ate out of hurt. And I would eat until my body was in as much pain physically as what my heart and mind were in emotionally. And so I developed these eating habits, and it led me to 20 years of obesity. And for 20 years, I remember being in high school, and, we had an English assignment that was, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? And my entire paper was about losing weight. I didn't want to be fat anymore. And that was at age 17. And it wasn't until 15 years later, when I was 32 years old, so this was 6 years ago. I'm 38 years old now. But at age 32, I hit a situation where my sister, I have one sister, she has a husband she's been with since she was 15, and he was dying of kidney failure. And I have a huge heart for my sister. I love my sister, and I've always wanted to help her and protect her and just be there with her. And her husband was a very close friend of mine. Well, he was dying of kidney failure back in, I guess it was 2007. And I went to donate my kidney, and they told me I was too fat, that my cholesterol was too high, and that my blood pressure was too high, and that I was going to have to lose 60 to 80 pounds. And so, you can imagine, after living 20 years in morbid obesity, struggling in life, completely broke, maxed out on credit cards, I was smoking pot till 3 in the morning. I was just living a lifestyle of reckless abandon that led me nowhere fast. But I had this heart that I wanted to help this brother-in-law of mine. And luckily, a friend of mine said, well, hey, I have this P90X program, and I haven't used it yet. Would you want to start working out with me? And so that was my introduction to Beachbody, was a local high school buddy of mine. His son had seen the infomercial and had challenged his father to pick up the program, and he did. And so he and I started that program together in April of 2007, and we did it for about 35 days, and I didn't even know that it came with a nutritional guide. So we would work out in the morning, and then I would go to the local breakfast place and slam down my pancakes and eggs, or I would slam down my biscuits and gravy. So we did it for 35 days, and then we fell off the wagon. I actually failed at my first attempt to do P90X. And it was a couple months later when I said, I have to do this. I really have to do this. I have to lose this weight. My brother-in-law's dying. Nobody has matched him yet. He's on dialysis. And so I went and I ordered my own set of P90X. And when I opened up that box of P90X, and I saw the nutritional guide, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a whole program. I really need to learn about eating. And that's where I learned about eating healthy and living healthier, and I started pushing play. And that first workout, I remember, Tony was talking about the recovery drink, and I'm like 5 minutes into the warm up, and I'm like dying and sweat's dripping off me, and I'm like basically just crying because I can't believe that I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm so fat I can't even do the warm up for this program. And I was that guy in that first round of P90X that when they tried to sell me recovery drink during the workouts, I would be sitting there sweating and dripping, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to buy this recovery drink. They just want my money. And that was really my attitude towards me. I just wanted to work out, and I just wanted to lose weight. I didn't want to be sold anything extra. But you know what? Uncle Carl's a pretty smart friggin' guy, and so are the trainers. And so because I was doing those workouts every day, and every day I would hear Tony talk about teambeachbody.com and go there. There's coaches there that are willing to help you. And they would talk about recovery drinks. It was about my 4th month. I had already lost about 50 pounds, and I decided to go to teambeachbody.com and start an account. And I was given to my coach as a free customer, one of those customer leads. Her name is Melanie Boland. She happened to be in Blake and Angie's organization, and she was a founding coach along with them. And so immediately Melanie got in touch with me, and she said, hey, I have this message board, and this was back in these days of these message boards. You should join it. It's called Midwest X, and there's a bunch of people doing P90X there. So I went and joined her message board, and I started to fall in love with the community of people. I was just blown away by the amount of support that people had, and it just really encouraged me to keep joining, to just keep going on my journey. I'm really covering this beginning time of my story because I think it's important for us to understand where people start, and that everyone travels along a process in their own right, and many of you guys are in that process right now. And so Melanie said, you're really great at encouraging people. Have you ever considered being a coach? You should join my coach team. And I didn't want to be a coach. At the time, I was a busy guy. I was actually running a local insurance agency. I was also president of the Rotary Club. It was like I was living 2 lifestyles. I had this at-home lifestyle when I was alone, and then I had my public lifestyle when I was in town. Now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy how I was living. But I didn't want to be a coach. And so she would ask me maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe once a month. And about 2 or 3 months after that, I decided that, okay, it's time for me to be a coach, because I had people asking me about the program. And all I knew at that time was this, that if I could go out there and just help some other people get started doing what I was doing, because I finally, for the first time in my life, felt free from the pressure and the restraints of living this life of obesity. I finally felt free from the depression, from the change that held me down. And it was this program, and more than just the program, it was the community of support that we call coaches that really helped me through that. My coach, Melanie, loved me through my transformation. And I'm so grateful for that, because it opened up an entirely new world to me. And I didn't know at that time, back 6 years ago, that my choice to become a coach, my choice to go to Team Beachbody, or my choice to pick up P90X would not only change my life, but change the lives of millions of people. I went on to have a huge weight loss story with the company. But through my transformation, I still hadn't done much with the business. I was the guy that came in, and I really didn't have a vision for the business side of things. My plan at that time was to own this insurance agency. And I figured if I could make a few $100 extra a month helping a few of my buddies get started on P90X, that's what I was going to do. If I could break even on my fitness habit, and pay for my bars and pay for my recovery drinks, and just get to go to the social events. For me, I fell in love with the community of people and attending events like Summit and attending events like Game Plan events. And that's where I really fell in love with Beachbody. It was the people. And I think that sometimes we lose sight of that. We have such great programs, and we have such a great company that's leading the way, that we often lose sight of the true value of what we offer to people, and that is the community. We have such an incredible community of people that truly care, that are driven, that are passionate, that are positive, that are focused on self-improvement, that are focused on helping others. And what an incredible community of people that we can be part of. And my belief is this, and one of the things that I hold true to now, because at some point, it's no longer about the money. At some point, it's no longer about a rank. At some point, it's no longer about how many Success Club points that you can score. At some point, it's about one simple fact. At least it boils down to this fact for me, is this: what we truly have to offer people is life-changing. And if it's been that life-changing for me, why would I ever not recommend it to somebody else? Why would I ever not at least give them that opportunity and put it in front of them and say, listen, this is how it's changed my life? And I don't know where you're at, but I do know this: if you just trust me and take your first step, it can lead you down a journey that will blow your mind in a few years. I promise you that. Why would I never put that in front of people? Here I am 6 years later, after the fact, after picking up that workout program. We've built an incredible team of 2,500 coaches, and we've built it out of a place of love. We've built it out of a place of just really honestly serving the mission of our company. And I think that we lose sight of that mission sometimes. So I want to restate that mission to everybody that's on this call, whether you're a brand new coach or whether you are a founding coach like Blake and Angela. I want to bring you guys back to what that mission is. And the mission of our company is to help people achieve their goals and live a healthy and fulfilling life. It's to help people. The first two words of that is help people. People are our mission. And it's to help them achieve their goals, not to help them achieve our goals. Our goals might be a rank advancement. Our goal might be to earn a certain amount of income in this business. But I got to promise you this, that if you try to force your goals on somebody else, it doesn't work very well. And that's why the mission is what it is. The mission isn't to help other people so I can achieve my goal. The mission is to help other people so they can achieve their goals. And if you focus on that mission and you do that consistently over time, and you take the Success Club points off of their head, and you take their emerald rank or their diamond rank off of their face, and you come to realize this: they are a human life that deserves to be loved, that deserves to be honored, that deserves to be given an opportunity. Whether or not they take it is up to them. It's not our job to convince them. Our job is to put it in front of them and to let them make the choice of whether or not they're ready to take that step. And it's the same way along the way. And the great thing about this opportunity is this: we all start at zero. All of us start at zero. If you're a brand new coach and you haven't enrolled somebody, guess what? When I was a brand new coach, I started with 0 coaches. I didn't start in a line where I had a bunch of people placed under my organization that nobody else built my team for me. Nobody else made me rank advance. Nobody else can do it for you. And I want you guys to understand that. I think so many times we wait around for somebody else to motivate us, or somebody else to encourage us, or somebody else to take ownership and build it for us. And I got to tell you right now, if your dreams aren't important enough to you that you're going to take ownership and go build the shit yourself, then it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. What I know about each one of you on the call, whether you're brand new or 7 years in, is this: you're here for a reason, and that reason should be important enough to you that it's worth you taking ownership of your life and going out there and having the courage and the audacity to offer an incredible opportunity, whether that's getting somebody started on their fitness journey, or whether that's getting somebody started on their business journey to create a new financial life for themselves, or a new life of more fulfillment. I got to tell you this: I've never had more fulfillment in my life, even with coaching football, than I've gotten out of being a part of Beachbody. The lives that I've seen change, the lives of my people. To get a message from one of my coaches today that says, "I can't believe this, but I made more money this week than I've ever made in my full-time job, and I never thought that would happen." So I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're just getting started. I don't know if you've been around for a while and you've been waiting for something great to happen, and you've had these dreams in your mind, and you wanted to make them happen, and you just haven't figured out how or when to start. And I always say this: there's always a difference between your enrollment date and your start date. You know, I was a diamond coach for 2 years, making a couple $100 a week as a diamond coach. I treated it like a little side hobby during that time period, and that was immediately during and after my transformation. And it wasn't until Summit of 2010 when I sat there and I started watching my friends and the people like Blake be presented on the stage and being awarded all of these amazing things. And it hit me this. This is what hit me. The people that were on that stage, the people that were succeeding in this business, were succeeding because they were working harder at it than I was. The truth is, at that time, I hadn't deserved to be making more money than I was making. I hadn't deserved to be a higher rank than what I was because I hadn't put the work in, and I didn't yet have the level of leadership or skill required for me to be one of those people. But I made a choice at that moment, and I said, you know what, this is something that I have to do. I had a life change at the insurance agency. The owner had changed the perpetuation plan that I was banking on and said if I wanted to own it, I'd have to own it with his son. And guess what? Beachbody became a little bit more important to me because I said, you know what, I'm more fulfilled doing Beachbody than I am selling insurance. There's absolutely zero fulfillment in my heart when it comes to selling an auto policy. In fact, I don't feel like I serve much of a purpose at all. I'm just doing this to make a paycheck. And so I decided to take a deeper look at Beachbody and make it a bigger part of what I did, and really dig in and really learn and really study and really not just do those things, but to go out and take action. And I took a lot of actions that led me to nothing. I can't begin to tell you how much time I wasted doing things that didn't produce a result. Luckily, I did those things, though, because it all led us to what we're doing now, which is building challenge groups, running Coach Basics camps, and doing a system that is proven to work, that I know that works, that I believe in fully, and that you guys are blessed to have, and that you have inherited from this company that is full of a lot of people from the network that have worked very hard and went through a lot of trials in order to get to the point where we're at. We're at such an incredible point in this network because we finally have that plan nailed down that we can present to new people and that we can put new people through. And I got to tell you this, I want you to write this down, 80% of this business and 80% of the future of our network and our company is going to be new people. It's going to be new blood. It's not going to be old leaders like me and Blake and Angela. It's going to be the new people that we bring in, that we give a new opportunity, a new generation of leaders that are going to rise up, a new generation of leaders that maybe make a choice right now to take action versus sitting around and waiting for something to happen. And so I don't care if you've been a coach for 3 years and you haven't done a whole hell of a lot. Now is a new opportunity for you to take a look at who you are and what you truly want and whether or not Beachbody fits what you need to get you where you need to go. And so every one of you guys have that choice tonight, to make that choice, to make that commitment. I know this, along the way, I've traveled many paths. I've been many different facets. I've been the person that was stuck in transformation, just focusing on themselves, trying to get their own life straight. I've been the person that was a coach that just did it as a side hobby, and I just wanted to go to the events to party. That's what I wanted to do. And then I've been the person that decided to step up and become a leader and become a person of massive action, not someone that goes out and takes a little action, but takes massive action, and in the process have had influence not only within my own team, but within the entire network. And so I guarantee you this, no matter who you are on this call, you're somewhere along that journey. That the road that I've traveled isn't quite all that differently from the road that you have traveled or are currently traveling, that all of you guys are stuck at one of those points and working your way through it. It's like an evolution. It's like a cycle that you have to process yourself through. But I do want to give you some pointers. And I think that these pointers will show you where my heart is as far as this business goes, because I think that we can really complicate this business. And I think if we just simplify this thing down, and part of the reason we don't gain traction is because we haven't simplified it down to something that we can hang our hats on. And so I put 6 points together. I just jotted down some notes. The first thing is this. See, here's the first thing is this. Number one is this. And no matter who you are on this call, I want you to know that these points apply to you. No matter where you're at in your journey, these points apply to you. But number one is this, okay? Be you. Be you. Be you and be where you're at and be okay with where you're at, and determine what this is to you, what level this is to you. Okay, that whatever vision that Tommy has for his life and his business does not have to equal yours. That if right now that your vision is that you just want to go out and help a few people, that all you're ever required to do is be you and go out and help those few people this month. If your vision is to turn this into something big, to start earning enough money that you can walk away from your job, then guess what? You're going to have to up your ante. You're going to have to up your game. But you have to ask yourself this, okay? Wherever you're at and whoever you are, does your activity level match your level of vision and dream for this business? Because if your activity doesn't match your level of dream, then guess what? You're never going to get further than where you're currently at. But be you and be authentically you. Don't try to be somebody else. I think so many times that, guys, we can look at the other leaders in the network or the other people that are getting all of this thing, and we could sit around and we could say, you know what, I'm not as pretty as them, or I'm not as young as them, or I'm not as fit as them, or I'm not as determined and driven as them. And guess what? Listen, stop comparing yourself to somebody else. Because who you are is beautiful, and who you are is capable, and who you are brings value into the lives of other people. It doesn't matter what your personality is. It doesn't matter what your history is. If people wouldn't have given me an opportunity based on my history, I mean, you look at my history. What was it? Here I was, a fat guy that was completely broke, that was smoking pot, that had done a whole lot of nothing in his life up till age 32. And now here I am 6 years later. You have no idea how fast your life can change if you just make that decision. But be you, be authentically you, stop comparing yourself to other people, and be okay with where you're at and what your vision is for this business. And then go make that happen. Because I promise you this, if you just take that one step in each one of your hearts, there's something that you know you're supposed to be doing. There's another level that you know you're supposed to get to. You just haven't went and done the work required to get there. And listen to me, you don't have to get the 10-star diamond overnight. I certainly didn't. I stayed at diamond for 2 years, and then in my heart I thought, you know what, I need to make something happen. I need to get to 5-star. And then I went and made that happen. I didn't start this business thinking that I would have 21 lifetime diamonds. But if you're not, here's the thing, all you ever have to do is obey that voice and take one step at a time. So if you're a new coach and that voice is this, I need to get to a live event, then guess what? You better get your ass up, you better book the ticket, and you better get to a friggin' live event. Whether that's Eric Worre's event or Danny Johnson's event or a corporate event. Maybe you need to book a ticket for Summit and get your butt to Summit. Some of you guys are hesitating on that, and I'm going to tell you right now, if I have attended summits, my life wouldn't have changed as drastically as it has. I wouldn't have the influence that I have. I wouldn't have the income that I have. I wouldn't have the level of recognition that I have, and I wouldn't have changed as many lives as I had if I wouldn't have taken the risk and booked the ticket and got the summit and embedded myself into the environment that produces good fruit, right? You've got to take yourself and you've got to put yourself into fertile soil. And that fertile soil happens more in the room than it does sitting on Facebook. Right? So maybe that's your next step, is to go to Coach Summit 2014 and to book your friggin' ticket for the MGM Grand and then send a message to Blake and Angie tonight and say, you know what, I don't care, I'm going to get the summit. You know what, I realized something. I'm 10 challenge packs away from paying for my ticket and my plane ticket to get the summit. I'm 10 challenge packs away, and I know that I can do 10 challenge packs between now and June. Sorry, I get on my soapbox sometimes. Number two, act accordingly. Act accordingly. See, some of us have these big dreams. Some of us have, I don't care. If you have a dream, just because if your dream, maybe it doesn't measure up to my dream. I got to tell you, there's people in this network that have a bigger dream and a bigger vision for what they're doing than what I do, right? But it doesn't mean that my dream is diminished. I don't care what your dream is with this right now. If it's to make a couple hundred extra bucks a week, if it's to start helping people in your local community by starting a fit club, whatever your dream is for this, listen, you better act according to it. And you better take the actions required to make it happen. You need to act accordingly and at the same level in accordance with what you're wanting to do. And you have to ask yourself, if I've been wanting this and I'm not getting it, why is that? And I promise you this, the only thing it comes back to is you. You're either not doing the work or you don't have the belief in yourself that you're capable. So here's the thing. The only thing that's required for you to achieve anything is you. You don't have to wait for anybody else. And it's never going to happen if you're not acting accordingly to who you are and what your dreams are. Number 3 is this: keep it simple. Keep this thing simple. Okay? I'm going to give you my simple version of what we do, because I think that we can get lost. Everything gets lost in translation and everything gets lost. There's so much information that comes at us, right? Especially now that we're like on Facebook and you have access to follow and watch and listen to so many things, and you can get stuck in what I call personal development jail, and that's all you do is personal development, or all you do is join groups, and you can become a group junkie and just join group after group after group, or listen to person after person after person and never go out and actually do anything with it. Listen, let me simplify this thing down for you, because at the end of the day, no matter what coach you are in this network, we really do 2 things. The first thing we do is we get people started on their fitness journey, and we call those people challengers. And we make sure that they get placed into some kind of an accountability group. Okay, back in the day when I started, that was a message board. Today, it's a Facebook group. But we have to get those challengers embedded into the community of people so that it becomes more than just a workout program on a DVD. So that's the first thing we do, right? Is this. We start people down the path on their own fitness, weight loss, health journey, or down their own Beachbody journey. They don't have to want everything all at once. It's okay. There's all kinds of things that are threaded into those programs every single day, and every day they're reminded that there's a little bit more, that there's Shakeology, that there's Team Beachbody, that there's coaches, that they can be a coach. Those little commercials that play before and after, and the little words that the trainers are saying during those videos. Listen, our job is to get people into these programs and to make sure that they continue to push play, that we cheer them along the way, that we get them back on track. It's pretty friggin' simple. That's the first thing that we do. The second thing that we do is this: we get people started on their coaching journey. That's it. 80% of what we do needs to be finding new people who are ready to start as challengers or who are ready to start as coaches. And listen, I'm a guy. I came up with the 5 steps. I use the 5 steps. I use the corporate videos. Those are my presentations that I put in front of people. Blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, if you're not putting who we are and what we do in front of new faces, you're never going to build this business, and you're never going to change lives. We owe it to those new faces to give them the same offer. What if that person is Tommy Mygrant? Listen, I don't care. Maybe you're a skinny, fit person, and there's a fat person. Let me give you a little bit of a glimpse into that person's life. That person is screaming for help. They're going home and they're living depressed. They're sitting on the couch, knowing that they need to do something, but not knowing what to do and not believing that they have the courage to see it through. They've started and stopped so many freaking times. And we have what they need. We have the full solution. Fitness plus nutrition plus support equals success. We have it. We have the community of support that they need. We have the programs that are proven to work. We have the nutritional stuff that they need, like Shakeology and nutritional plans. And we have a community of people that can help them learn along the way, that can help them stay accountable along the way. Don't you dare keep somebody else's destiny locked in your mouth because you're afraid to put it in front of them. Their reaction to you putting it in front of them has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Your job isn't to determine which one of those new lives says yes or no. Your job is simply to put it in front of them and give them the freedom of choice, that they can make a choice based on their own free will and their own thinking. And if they choose to react in a negative way, then you need to love them anyway. Because that reaction in a negative way just tells me one thing: that they're still in pain, that they're still hurting. And that's when I just say to them, listen, I want you to understand something. I'm totally cool with where you're at with this. I want you to know this. My door is always going to be open to you, no matter what. I'm not disappearing on this thing, and I'm going to be helping people from now to the end of the year and probably next year as well. And so if and when something happens in your life, I want to make sure that you know how to find me and I know how to find you, and we know how to stay in contact, because when you decide to make that choice to get started, I want you to know I'm going to be here ready and waiting and willing to help you. And it's the same thing with coaches. Not everybody's going to say yes to coaching the first exposure. Listen, I want you to write this down. The average person can't say no more than 7 times. See, many of us get frustrated because we're out there and we are putting challenge in front of people, and we are putting coaching in front of people, and we're getting a no from them on the first try, and we think it's over. And then we get frustrated. I suck at this. I can't do this. I can't find anybody. Listen, you haven't given them enough time to see it over and over again, because the average person, if they see it 5, 6, 7 times, can't say no more than 7 times, right? Listen, I did not say yes. Listen, it took me 20 years to decide to do something about my fatness. 20 years of me saying no to fitness before something happened in my life that rattled my cage enough that I decided to get started. It took me 3 months of doing the workouts, 3 or 4 months before I decided to go to teambeachbody.com and start an account and get assigned to a coach as a free customer. It took me 3 months after that of her encouraging me to be a coach for me to actually say yes to coaching. It took me 2 years after deciding to enroll as a coach to determine that I wanted to do something great with this, that I wanted to be the next leader on that stage, that I wanted to build a 6-figure income, that I wanted to change not just 10 lives but hundreds of thousands of lives. And the only way that I could do that was by going out and building my own marching army of people who are equally as excited about helping others as I am. It didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight for you, and it's not going to happen overnight for the other person. But you got to give people the chance to get exposed to who we are so that they can grow into wanting to say yes down the road. Our job isn't to harvest every single person that we present this to. Our job is to be a good planter of seed, to put this in front of as many people as we can, because I guarantee this, if you stuff enough people through one end of the pipe, at some point somebody's going to come out the other side. So my question is this: are you giving up after the first try? Are you putting it in front of enough people? Listen, I want you to write this down. If you want to help a few people, then you have to talk to a few people. If you want to help a lot of people, you're going to have to talk to a lot of people. If you want to make a little bit of money, then you have to talk to a little bit of people. If you want to make a lot of money, then guess what, honey? You're going to have to talk to a lot of friggin' people. That's the name of the game. And the only way that I've been able to force myself to talk to enough people to make all of this happen is because I believe wholeheartedly in the mission of who we are, what we do, what we offer people, and the real opportunity behind a set of workout videos, the real opportunity behind a coach sign-up, which is completely life-changing. Number 4 is this: you're going to have to trust the process. You're going to have to trust that process. Okay? Whatever that process is, for me, the process is pretty simple. I get people started on their fitness journey, and somewhere between weeks 4 and 7, I'm looking for the green flag moments that tell me somebody is excited about this, somebody is ready to be presented the opportunity of what we do as coaches. I want my team to be people who fall in love with Beachbody and the community of support that's around it, because that's how I came in, and I know how deeply that got me embedded into doing this. And I want people that are equally as loyal, and so I bring them in the same way. Challenger first, upgrade the coach. That's my process. You can determine if you want to lead with the business opportunity. I will leave that up to you. I can only tell you how I do it. And I got to tell you that when I look at my team, I'm super proud of the people because we're in it together. And I can easily show them how to do the same thing, how to go out there and start finding a few challengers, and then how to look for those green flag moments in month 2 when those challengers might be ready to be a good coach. And I got to tell you this, if somebody can't be a good challenger yet, they're certainly not ready to be a good coach. And my belief is this, that we got to stop forcing people into the coach box who aren't yet ready for it. Stop leading with, well, you can save some money on Chase. If that's how you're leading people into becoming coaches, then guess what? That's what you're getting. You're getting a team of people that are saving money on Chase. You're not getting a marching army of moving miles that are excited about what we do and willing to offer it to other people. But you have to trust that process. Part of that process now are the Coach Basics boot camps that we're running, that Blake and Angie are running, that some of the leaders in your organization are running, or that maybe you're running. But that's part of the process of getting people up to speed with everything that we're talking about. And then there's a next step process and Blake and I are part of a group of people that are now testing this out, the Emerald to Diamond training that we're going to be coming out with. And Blake and Angie are running people through that. I'm running people through that. But there's a process to success. Number 5 is this: you got to stay course. You got to stay course. Listen, I want you to think about this. Think about a little boy trying to ride his bike for the first time, right? He's going to get on that bike, he straps on his helmet because now we pussify our kids and we put a freaking helmet on them and we're so afraid that they're going to get hurt. My belief is this: people got to get hurt and they got to learn to get up and keep going. Even in the face of adversity and in the face of pain, they got to learn that they can survive that. Okay, so that little kid gets on the bike and he tries to run and he's so excited, he's a little bit nervous and he falls and he busts his knee up. Are you going to tell him to never get on the bike again, or are you going to tell him, listen, that's okay, you're going to get hurt, get back up and get on the bike? See, some of you coaches out there, you kind of quiver and shake at the first sign of pain. You quiver and shake at the first sign of trouble, and I can't humanly wrap my brain around this because who you are instinctively is not somebody that quivers at pain. You're somebody that says, bring on the pain, I'm still going to get up, I'm still going to go forward. And the only way that you're ever going to find long-term success is this: if you stay course. I got to tell you this right now. We got to stop looking at the other people who are having success at this business and thinking that it's a perfect journey for them, because it's not. I guarantee you it's not, guys. I've had moments in this business when I wanted to kick over a chair. I've had moments in this business when I wanted to go into a cave and hide myself from the world. I've had moments in this business when people have disappointed me. I've had moments in this business when I've disappointed others. And the only way through that is this: you got to stay course, and you got to forgive yourself, and you got to forgive other people. People are going to disappoint you, okay? But you just got to pick back up, and you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. You got to just do it one more time, just one more time, just one more rep. And you guys all understand this when it comes to the fitness program, right? When you first did P90X, or when you first did Insanity, or when you first did T25, that first workout kind of sucked, and it challenged you. You weren't perfect at it. But guess what? You showed up on day 2, and you kept pushing play. And by the end of the first month, and the end of the second month, by the end of the first round, you were blown away by what you were capable of doing. Well, it's the same in the business. That at first, it's going to be hard. At first, it's not going to come easy. And listen, those trials and those struggles are still going to come at you. They're still going to smack you in the face. They smack me in the face all the time. I just went through a season of some doubt and anxiety just last year where I kind of pulled away from recruiting, and I had to wrap my brain back around to what we're talking about tonight, which is what is the real reason why I need to show this to people. And it certainly isn't so that I can make more money. That's, for me, it's not about more money. For me, it's not about another diamond coach. For me, it's about presenting someone with that opportunity. But listen, if I wouldn't stay course through those times of struggle, I would never come out the other side and see the times of sunshine and light that shine brightly on our face and that make us feel happy. I promise you this, that no matter where you're at, there's going to be another season, and if you stay course, if you just stick around, if you show up to another call, if you put out another challenge group, if you offer somebody to join your coach team just for another time, that eventually somebody's going to say yes. Eventually, things are going to start happening for you and for your team. I promise you that. But it's not going to happen if you give up at the sight of pain. It's not going to happen if you give up at the sign of doubt. It's not going to happen if you give up at the sign of fear. Doubt and fear and insecurity are evil, wicked things, and you need to get rid of them, and you need to persevere through them. So you have to stay course. And number 6 is this: love others where they're at. Okay? And I say that because this. We want people to be at a certain place. And I want every person that I bring in to want to be a friggin' 10-star diamond and build up a rockstar organization. But guess what? If I try to pressure that huge vision on somebody else's head, they can't wrap their brain around it yet. See, we all have what I call the dream digestive process, right? That right now, we all have a dream of a certain level of success, and that's all the further the road goes with our vision for success. We can't see more yet. And it's the same for the other person. I had a vision of getting to $250,000 a year in this business. I thought, if I can make $5,000 a week, that would be friggin' mind-blowing to me. And the reason that I had that number on my head was this, because when I was in the Beachbody Challenge, the top prize was $250,000, and I didn't win it. And I thought, what, to hell with Uncle Carl, if they're not going to give me the $250,000 for kicking ass for P90X, then I'm going to make $250,000 every single year. And so that was me. I was motivated by that, right? And I went out and I made that happen. And then once I hit it, I kind of pulled back and said, well, man, I can't believe it. And it's taken a season for me to kind of digest the fact that it's happened, for me to get a bigger vision, for me to redirect myself and figure out that there's more. It's the same for you guys. Maybe that vision is getting to a diamond level coach. And listen, I do you no favors if I try to get you to shoot for 5-star before you're ready. I do you no favors if I try to get you to shoot for $2,000 a week before you're ready. I do you no favors if I try to get you to become a coach before you're ready. So we have to learn to love people where they're at and trust the process and trust the fact that if we love them where they're at and we help them get to where their mind wants to take them, that once we get them to that stop sign on their road to success, that they're going to look around and realize that the road goes further and they're going to want to go, guess what, to another friggin' stop sign. But you have to love them where they're at. Because if you don't, If you try to get them on the highway and they're still 6 stop signs away, I mean, think about this. If you're directing somebody, if you're giving somebody directions, right, and they're trying to get to the highway, you can't force them to jump from A to F. That there's a B, a C, and a D, and an E in between A and F. So if they're at a point of A, then we have to love them where they're at and get them to C, the point of B, and just get them to take that one next step. So and I promise you this, that if you coach them along, and so we all understand the process of success. You guys have lived it. If you've ever been through school, you understand the process of success. When you started as a kindergartner, they weren't teaching you senior algebra. They were teaching you simple stuff. They loved you where you were at, and they worked hard to get you to learn what you needed to learn to get to first grade. And then you went to first grade, and then you went to second grade, and step by step, you got to the point of graduation. Well, it's the same with people. It's the same with you. We all understand the process of success. We just all haven't taken it and applied it to ourselves or our challengers or our coaches. So listen, guys, man, I went a little bit longer than what I wanted to, but listen, I want you guys to know something. I believe in you. I believe in you wholeheartedly. I have no doubt that if I can do what I've done with Beachbody, and I promise you one thing, I'm not done. My team's not done. This network is not done. This company is not done. We're not even close to done. But if I can do that as a former morbidly obese man that lived his entire life in a town of 8,000 people, couldn't see, the forest from the trees, that just started as someone that wanted to lose, 60 pounds so he could help his brother-in-law. If my choices can turn into what it is for me, imagine what you can do, not only for yourself but for other people. If I'm capable of doing that, I'm no more smarter than you. I'm no more anything than you. Each one of you have the ability to do things. And I believe equally, incredibly, each one of you guys, that each one of you guys bring a value to this world, that each one of you guys bring a value to people. I believe wholeheartedly in the mission of this company. I believe in the integrity of this company. I believe that what we do truly changes lives, and I believe that those lives deserve an opportunity to be changed. Because this is going to be an incredible year for a lot of people, for a lot of coaches. It's going to be a turnaround year for some coaches who have struggled for a while. It's going to be an incredible launch year for some new coaches that come in and just don't know anybody better but just go for broke. It's going to be an incredible year for the company and the network. This network is going to grow. We're going to double in size. We're going to go from 150,000 people to 250,000 people. My question to you is this: what part of that do you want it to be you? What do you want your story to be a year from now? Where do you want to be? Because it's going to happen for somebody. Why not you? Why not you be the next success story? Why not you be the next person that the company's calling to interview for a Super Saturday video? Why not you be the next person that Angie and Blake are asking to speak on their team call because you just went out and for the last 6 months completely crushed this business and changed lives along the way and found a way to make it work? Why not you? Why not you taking the next step and building the next part of your dream? I promise you this, that if you just stay course and you keep going and you love people and you just keep putting one foot forward in front of the other and you up the ante and you up your activity to match your level of desire and dream, I promise you this, that a year from now, your story is going to look completely different than it does right now. That next February, right before Valentine's Day, you're going to see me at Summit this year, and you're going to, you know what, Tommy Mygrant? That call that you did with Angie and Blake completely changed my course, and over the last 6 months, my team went from 20 people to 150 people, and my income went from $100 a week to $500 a week. And I can't believe how much I was holding back in this thing. Thank you for saying what you said. It gave me the kick in the ass I needed, and I've done great things. Don't come up to me at Summit and say, you know what, I heard you, but I didn't do anything with it. Because the only thing that's going to happen between now and Summit, the only difference is this. One person's going to take what we talked about tonight, and they're going to find the ignition button, and they're going to go do it. And they're going to go create their story, and they're going to go they know this, come hell or high water, by the time Summit comes around, they're going to be further ahead than where they're at now. And then there's going to be some people that are on this call that sit here and they go, you know what, you know what? I want more, but they don't take action. They don't go hit the ignition button. In fact, they take the keys out of the ignition and they hang them up on the rack and they put their feet up on the couch and they sit there being lazy and not doing anything. And then they wonder why their life's not changing and they wonder why they're not fulfilled. Because I promise you this, I don't care how much money you're making and I don't care what the hell your rank is. If you're not working, you're not happy. If you're not working, you're not fulfilled. If you're not helping people, then you're not serving the purpose of this mission and you're choking yourself. And it's only up to you to decide this. Are you a 1 or are you a 2? Are you in or are you out? Because there is no such thing as life in between. We can't sit around and wait in limbo. You better make that choice right now. And I'm going to make that choice right now. And my commitment to you is this, and I know Blake and Angie's commitment to you is this, that no matter what, we're going to be further ahead by the time summer comes around. No matter what, we're still going to be in the game, and we're going to be doing more than what we're currently doing a year from now, because this world needs what we have to offer, and it needs leaders to step up, and it needs people to take action, and you are those people. And I'm going to be sitting there jacked up when I see all of you guys at Summit this year in June, and we're going to have one hell of a party to celebrate the success we've had over the course of the next 4 months. So listen, that's it. I'm fired up. I'm going to give it back to Blake and Angie. And I'm done.
Oh, Tommy, love you. That was you should see my notes. I will. I might have to call you to make sure I got them right. But I love so much what you said, and it was why not you, really, and so much of what you said is so simple, but we like to complicate things because we're people and it's what we like to do. So I hope everybody wrote these notes down. I will. I'll type them up and confer with Tommy, make sure I nailed the bullet points, and I'm going to post them. And Tommy, again, we're so blessed to have you in our life, and we learned from you. And I'll never forget that day in the elevator when we first met. And I'm excited. Blake and I know this is going to be 2014 is going to be a big year. And Blake, I'm going to let you go ahead and close it out.
Yeah, thanks again, Tommy. A little bit more energy, please, next time, okay?
Well, hey, Blake, you know what? I'm a football coach, is what I know. When I talk about be authentically who you are, you got to understand there's times when I get, I'm going to present something, and I tell myself, just calm down. And you know what? That's how it comes out, because that's who I am. Not everybody's that way. And all we can ever do is authentically be who we are and say things in the way that we say them. So, yeah, I'll try.
Don't change who you are. We love you just the way you are.
You gotta love people how they are, you know? I mean, it's just, and I gotta love myself for it. Sometimes I laugh at myself because I'm like, those people on the other end of the line gotta be like, dude, this dude is like gonna butt heads with a brick wall or something, you know? So anyway, guys, thank you for having me. I'm so honored that you had me on tonight.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it very much, and we've got it recorded, so we'll post it up. I'll send you guys, everybody, a link to probably tonight. And I'm going to probably have to listen to it several times because you had so many great little points there, big points, I should say. So it was really good. I just really appreciate that. That would have been like the perfect, what do we have today for our Emerald to Diamond motivation? You know, that would have been perfect training for today for everybody.
No, actually, and what you talked about hit perfect where we're at in our Coach Basics group too. So I'm hoping everybody from Coach Basics was on listening to you too.
Yeah, well, that's a good free training for me. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, man, and let's go out and rock this thing.
All right, with that, guys, we're going to close it out for this Thursday and make it a great night and take action on what even one thing that Tommy had to say, and you'll change your business forever. So good night, everybody. Make it a great night.